down in Carlow now for the official launch of the ID Buzz in Ireland. It's here. So we've got the cargo version just over my left shoulder, and then on the right hand side there we have got the passenger version. Let's have a good look around now, get a feel for what these cars, vans, actually are. They've been built on that MEB platform that whole of Volkswagen Group is rolling out across various cars at the moment. So the ID3, the ID4, the ID Buzz, Skoda Enyaq, and a few more. So what do we have? Well, standard what we're seeing in Ireland, certainly at launch, is that 77 kilowatt hour usable battery. Talking about WLTP figure, about 415 kilometers. Now, real world dependable, something like 350 I think will be solid. The cargo version is just ridiculous in terms of space. There's 3.9 cubic meters of space in here, and you'll fit 2 full Euro pallets inside that with a nice wide aperture here to get things in and out. And then even for loading, for unloading, you've got the 2 sliding doors on either side, as well as this big back door just here. But it goes beyond that, because even in here there's lots of space as well. You've got all the usuals that you might want. Plenty of loading space up the front there for your diaries, books, whatever you need. Plenty of little cubby holes and space all around everywhere you go. It is a fairly high position and you're kind of pushed forward, although the windscreen feels like it's a good bit away. The nose in this is so short that you've just got so much space inside for what is a very, very small, relatively speaking, footprint of a van. And this does not feel like a van. You've got the higher position all right, but just in terms of the feel of the materials, it's just on a different level altogether. So prices for the cargo version are going to start off in the early 50,000 euros, which is absolutely pretty good, pretty impressive. But the big issue here is going to be supply. Now, for the rest of this year, they're talking about bringing in 500 ID Buzz in total, about 400 of which will be the cargo version and only 100 of the passenger vans. Alan, really exciting times for you here at the launch of the ID Buzz. How is the Irish market taking to the Buzz?
Yeah, it's been really phenomenal. We've had the Motor Impress of Ireland here today, and now later on today we'll have the VIP customer launch, Irish customer launch. It has been taken on really, really well.
And are you seeing that in the numbers? Are people pre-registering, or do you know anything like that?
We have over 3,000 pre-register interest in the people version alone.
Wow.
And nearly double that for the cargo version. So it's just caught everyone's thought process, and there's a huge interest in.
And who do you see buying this? I mean, I don't need you to name the competition, but what type of person or what type of business owner is going to be buying this?
I think when people sit into it, they'll realise that this is the SUV reinvented, but it's an SUV with a substantial boot space, and the cargo hold in the back of the people variant changes it for people who want to drive this. It just really is exceptional in terms of its storage and adaptability for families. And then when you get to the cargo, it's the first ever commercial vehicle that's been built up as a battery electric vehicle, as opposed to being redesigned ICE engine turned into battery electric vehicle. So it really is a game changer for us in terms of the cargo to load capacity.
Now look, I want to put a bit of pressure on you. You're not going to like me asking this question. What sort of supply are we going to see next year? Because it looks like everybody wants one of these.
Yeah, we're kicking off today. We're starting to build supply. The first boats have arrived into Dublin over the last number of weeks, and we're starting to build up supply, but it will be a slow build up. It's not going to be that we will have as many as we want, but we will build on that throughout 2023, and I believe anyone that wants one will be serviced within an adequate time frame.
Okay, so if I order one today, I'm probably not going to get it within 6 months. I could be pushing out to a year or something like that.
I would say 6 months is the current lead time, and that will, once we open up order books fully, have them in dealerships, we expect that to grow, unfortunately, and we will try to keep up with demand. There is production capacity increases coming, and we hope to totally service the Irish market as is needed.
Let's look at the passenger version now. There is going to be 500 Buzz in total coming into the country this year, but only 100 are going to be the passenger ones. They seem to be focusing battery production, putting that more into the ID4 and some other models, although they expect that to increase next year. We don't know to what level yet, no matter how much I actually push them. So let's go into a bit more detail now and have a look around it. You feel so high up in here, the position is so high, and we'll see that a little bit more when we have it out on the road. But anyway, let's talk about space, because that's what we want in more detail just here. Now, for a bit of context, I'm 6'2", so kind of 1.89 metres thereabouts. Okay, let's get this into a position for me. It's probably a little bit far back just there. Yeah, that feels comfortable. Let's check out the back now and see what it's like. Sliding doors on both sides are great. Step in nice and easy because it's such a wide aperture just here. And look at that, that seat was set up for me at 6'2", and here I am in the back again, and I have got acres of space and even headroom. like a good 4 or 5 inches there. But it just feels so open and airy as well, because you've just got so many windows, even the A-pillar. Now in time we are going to get panoramic sunroofs just here, which will make it even more airy, and the California in time, which is hugely exciting. But in terms of space at the back here for passengers, brilliant. And you would easily get 3 adults in here as well. Yeah, plenty of space. Let's check out the boot now and see what it's like. Now, I did say boot, but I actually should have said container ship. Automatic tailgate, which is great. You've got the button to close it just there. But look at the size of this. It's so big, in fact, that they've actually got it compartmentalized. A little shelf just there, space underneath, and loads of space to sit down. So what are we talking about in terms of space? Well, it's just over 1,100 litres, and that's in the boot, in the cargo space here alone. Fold down those back seats, and that goes out to about 2,150 litres. Absolutely gigantic. There's our button. Whoa, really good acceleration. So what is that? Well, we've got a 150 kilowatt motor in the ID Buzz, and that's good for kind of just over 200 horsepower. So this thing is no slouch. You do not expect this to be fast, you know, but it is. Like, it's not going to break the 10-second mark, you know, if you're doing that 0 to 100 kilometer an hour sprint, but it still feels peppy enough for something this size. You know, when you're used to getting into things like this, it's frequently, you know, a 1.6 or a 2-litre turbo diesel, or, you know, something along those lines. But this just wafts around so silently with that electric motor. And because you've got that chunky old 77 kilowatt hour battery underneath, even though it's quite a tall vehicle, the centre of gravity is very, very low. And you can feel that in the corners. Now, it doesn't feel stuck to the road in the way you might in a little 2-seater, of course. This isn't built to, you know, for a spirited drive through the Wicklow Mountains on a sunny Sunday afternoon. But for something this size, it does feel quite solid. Like, as I'm driving around in it now, and here's another ID Buzz coming at me. There's about 10 of them here at the press event. Yeah, as you're driving around, coming over a ramp here now, oh, it's so solid and smooth. And you've got pretty much a 3 meters, only about 1 or 2 centimeters short of 3 meter wheelbase. So yeah, it feels very, very solid. It does not feel like a van, to be honest. As I'm driving around, if you combine the ride, how smooth it is, with how it feels in corners and on roundabouts, it feels more like a car than a van, to be honest. Even though then when you sit here, you're up really, really high, lording it over everybody. I mean, this is giving you plenty of height. You know, anybody who goes out and buys an SUV just purely for the ride height, look at this. You get way more space, be faster than a lot of them, far more comfortable, far cheaper to run. Purchase price might be an issue, but then again, there's a lot of people spending 60, 70, 80 grand on SUVs anyway. Why wouldn't they consider this? And another thing here as well, as we pull back into the car park at the end of our little press test, it's a lot more precise than you'd expect as well. So the turning circle is actually only about 11 meters, which is really good for something of this size. Like, a lot of cars are in and around that 10, 11 meter mark. So this is doing pretty well. And I have to say, my impressions now are just really, really good. I can't wait to get this thing for a lot longer. We're going to have it for, you know, for a full week at some stage in the future. And yeah, we'll give you a full report back then. We'll go through details on the software and things like that. You know, do the full run through, do a couple of range tests and things like that. But initially, just to get a first look around, it's really, really good. So here we are, we pull into the car park, just get a feel for how kind of precise it is. Yeah, it's really, really good. Okay, park. Now this thing actually can park itself. It can remember where you park. If you're at home, you've got a tricky spot or in work or something like that, this will remember it and actually drive into the space itself for you. Just really, really impressive. Okay, there we go. Park up. And that's it for me. So So thanks very much to VW Ireland for having us down for the launch of the ID Buzz in Ireland, and it's hugely impressive. Spend a little bit of time with it today, take it out on the road for a few minutes as well and get a bit of a feel for it. Now, we'll be looking forward to having it in more detail in the future, but for now, hugely impressive. Like the space inside, it's just absolutely cavernous. There's so many people out there these days buying huge big SUVs, and this accomplishes pretty much everything that they do. I mean, is it a multivan? No, it's not. It's this kind of strange blend between passenger vehicle, van. Don't know what it is, and the Irish market look like they're taking to it in huge numbers. But also the cargo van that's over my shoulder there, coming in the early €50,000 mark with a solid 350 to 400 kilometre range. It's going to do big things. These guys are sold out well into the future, so if you're thinking about getting one of these, get on it quick, order one, because it could be a while.